You know, I know some trans people that never go on hormones or never have surgery, and you know, that's their choice, and if that makes them feel comfortable, then more power to them. A lot of people have this set idea that a trans person, you know, it's a name change, hormones, a top surgery, bottom surgery, all these things that you have to complete, and in reality, you know, that's not it at all.
What did you name your dick and why?
His Majesty, for all others. But he and I are on a first name basis, and I call him Greg. The only words I had when I was a kid were, I want to be a boy. There were no examples for me of anybody transitioning, or even a word for me to look into to find out what that was about. But I know other people call me she and her, and I had a girl's name, and the expectation was from everyone else that I was a girl. But I felt like a boy, so I'd say I want to be a boy.
So as a child, I mean, I was always a tomboy, so I mean, that was the first giveaway for me. My parents thought that I was just a very masculine girl. When I got into middle school, I actually came out as a lesbian, and I thought that that was it. I thought that that was gonna be, you know, kind of the eye-opening moment for myself, and it turned out that it wasn't, and I still had some uphill battles to figure out who I was.
I think that I saw another boy's penis when I was, I don't know, real young. He wanted me to tie his bathing suit bottoms, so I pulled out the suit to tie it, and hey, when's mine gonna come in, you know? That kind of thing, like I'm different, that's not there. It was something that had to be there, like even if you call me girl or she or whatever, I'm missing this thing. It's like a prosthetic leg, you still feel it there. Like I knew what it would feel like.
When I transitioned from female to male, it was kind of a quiet transition for me. I had talked to the principal, you know, I had talked to teachers of mine, so I was one of the first kids to transition in high school at Desert Vista, so everyone was kind of trying to figure it out. I met my first trans person when I was in 7th grade, and that automatically clicked for me. In my junior year of high school, I came out as trans and then went through the motions of transitioning.
So when I transitioned at 39 years old, I learned that it was possible to surgically create a penis. But the examples I was given were probably not finished. I didn't know what I was looking at. They were pictures, so to me, it looked pretty primitive, and I was getting messages from the community that they weren't very good. So I kind of let go of that until a couple years later I learned at a conference that this is not what people are saying, that they do function and you can be happy and have feeling and sensation, and there's not a 50% chance you'll lose all of that. That's what I thought, that's what I heard. It wasn't until I started working at the Mayo Clinic and started having dialogue with folks there about insurance coverage. And in 2015, they put it on our policy. So at that time, I started making plans for my surgery.
So for me, I started off with therapy. I went to a therapist that was very open-minded to the LGBT community, and my parents got tied into that as well, and she was the one that told them that this is what your child needs to do in order to be, you know, happy for the rest of his life. From therapy, I went to go see a doctor out in California at the LA Children's Hospital, and I met with her a couple times, and then she prescribed me testosterone, and that was the start of it. In the beginning, it was turbulent. I can't expect any parent to fully understand or, you know, come to terms with it. I mean, my therapist said it perfectly, you know, your child is so far down the train tracks, like you need to catch up, or, you know, you need to meet in the middle somewhere. I definitely was depressed at that time, and still now I struggle with depression just based on that. And But once there was kind of a turn that we made as a family, with me starting hormones, the name change, top surgery, all of it led to the place where we are now, and then both of my parents are fully supportive.
My wife let me have some alone time the night before surgery. And I had this picture, and I don't know why I had it with me. It was in my bag. It's a picture of me in brownies, and I'm in 3rd grade, maybe. That was around the time that I was praying to God to ask if he could send the witch from Bugs Bunny to wave her wand and make me into a boy. So I already had like this knowledge, this disappointment that my life was not going to be lived the way that I felt that it should be. At a really young age, like this resentment towards God, my body, you know, that seed was planted at that age, in that picture. I spoke to that kid and I said, this is gonna happen. Tomorrow it's gonna happen. And I saw myself, like, it's so real. Like, I saw myself in my favorite plaid pants and this white turtleneck. I'd wear it every time I knew I was gonna be around Mindy Zilli, this girl I liked. So I had that outfit on, I get chills. And like, I crawled into my lap, that little kid crawled into my lap and said, don't say that, you know, like, that's not true. I'm like, no, we're gonna do this together. Me and you, we're gonna do this together. Tomorrow it's gonna happen, I promise. I don't even know what words I have for that. Like, we grow up and we get older, but the little people inside of us are still there.
So I met Julian through a trans support group, Trans Spectrum of Arizona, and my parents were looking for a support group for all of us to go. And so for me, Julian was one of the facilitators, and so I got to know him. And I think my parents, definitely my mom, she was looking for somebody who had information, who had gone through the motions of transitioning. You know, she was concerned about, you know, health risks, you know, everyday risks that could possibly come up. And so I met him through the group, and he has made a huge impact on our family.
You know, that little kid I just told you about, he had one person to look to say this could be my future, or to talk to, and to know that I wasn't alone, and to hang out with, would have made a huge difference in my life. So I'm a recovering addict, and one of my biggest character defects I learned is anger. And my sponsor said, there's nothing wrong with anger, it's what you do with it. Like, I had a lot of years of feeling angry and mad about this whole thing. So what can I do about this now? I can help make sure that nobody, especially no kid, feels alone.
It definitely is important for, you know, younger kids and older kids to have a mentor, especially somebody who's also trans, to talk about, you know, later in life what's going to happen, or how their transition, you know, went. I know that when he told me his story, that definitely helped me with my transition and what steps I needed to take. I think it is so important to have someone, you know, no matter who you are, to have a mentor in your life to kind of guide you where you want to go, and then, you know, where you need to go as well. You know, getting to know him has been such a privilege of mine. I don't know, like, words can't really describe it. I'm just, like, so fortunate to have him, but he definitely has given me a positive outlook to transitioning.